again, friends. Uh, well, here we are, the very first podcast in my series. Though technically, this is my second one. I am. That's the reason this has been a few days past when I promised that I would have my first one out. Uh, Ironically, the other day I did record this very same podcast. Unfortunately, after I recorded it, I was getting ready to post it. I decided I'd check it out, make sure that the uh, make sure the audio and the video were all right. Excuse me if I seem a little distracted. I'm hearing the echo and this thing is a little bit distracting. So, but anyway, as I was saying, I recorded the podcast, was watching through it, and I noticed as I was watching it, I was doing it nice and professional, nice and talking to you and everything. Few uhs, but that's speech impediment I have. Please excuse me and bear with me about that. Anyway, so I did the whole thing, but as I looked closer, I started like, what the Sam Hill is that? And I rewind it and I looked a little closer and I recorded the whole thing with this giant booger hanging out of my nose. Needless to say, I erased that copy and I'm redoing the whole thing. So, anyway, uh, as I said before, my name is Marcus Davey, the Wizard of Savannah. Um, the Wizard of Savannah thing. It's interesting. Interesting story how I got that as my moniker, my professional moniker. As I said, I'm a performer. I do mostly balloon art and magic. Anyway, if it was a few years back, it was right about the time that Disney had come out with that revamp of The Wizard of Oz. You know, the one with Mila Kunis playing the Wicked West. Excuse me, the Wicked Witch of the West. Anyway, uh, Lord, that woman's gorgeous. And I still can't believe she learned how to how to speak English watching The Price is Right. Um, only, I watched The Price is Right all the time growing up. The only thing I learned was that the models were hot. Anyway, um, where was I? All right, about the time that they come out with that movie, Disney came out with the movie. Anyway, I was doing a lot of. I was down on River Street. For those of you not in the Savannah, Georgia area, River Street is right on the Savannah River. It's where most of the street performers in the area hang out. It's where the tourists, it's where all the bars are, and the tourists go. And the favorite activity for the tourism is drinking down here. Anyway, um, as I was doing, like I said, I was doing balloons for the kids and everything, and this little girl comes up, cute as a button, and she comes up and she goes, "Are you the Wizard of Savannah?" And her dad's standing around behind her going, and I'm like, "Yeah, sure, yeah, that's me, yeah, sure." And she's like, "Oh." So anyway, I did a balloon for the little one, and her father goes, "Thank you so much." And after he left, I started thinking, I like that Wizard of Savannah. I think I keep that. So it's better than the last one. I used to call myself the street shaman. Uh, that's I'm big into Native American mysticism and religion. Of course, I'm predominantly Christian, as you can probably guess. Uh, anyway, the Wizard of Savannah is a little bit better because technically the street shaman, I might get in trouble if the people who do Shadowrun ever found out about it. I don't know how close copyright goes, but in this day and age, you can never tell. So, anyway, what was I going to talk about? I was going to talk about. I've been recently been watching a young lady uh, on the net um, who she does a series of podcasts as well, and her name is uh, uh, Lord knows I can't think of her name. Anyway, when after I'm done, I'll look her up, and it's something Army, and like I said, after I get off here, I'll look it up and I'll put a link to her site on this. Darling, if you're watching, forgive me for forgetting your name. I love you to death. Even if the tattoos are a little bit much for me, but I still love you. What she does is she does a series of podcasts, basically defending guys, uh, standing up to the feminist propaganda that goes everywhere, it seems. Uh, telling, educating women who are griping about not being able to find a great relationship with a guy, and she's telling him like it is, like, well, start acting like women that guys would want instead of what the feminists think you tell you what you need to act like. Uh, anyway, one of the podcasts she mentioned was the main topic was what was the difference telling folks that there are differences between men and women. Uh, now everybody and his cousin has already beat that horse to death, and even though it was already dead to begin with, and everybody's got their own opinion on it. Well, I'm not going to talk about my opinion on the subject, but I am going to tell you a little bit of interesting story that happened to me years ago that demonstrates a perfect example of how men and women are different. Um, as I said before, I am a performer. I've been doing magic since I was in high school. Um, I've been practicing hypnosis even before that. Of course, I didn't start performing until after college. So, but yes, I've been performing as a stage hypnotist for decades now. Uh, I guess that's going to date me how old I am. I'm not ashamed to say it. I am years old. Uh, actually, no, I'm over 50, and I'm leaving it there. Uh, most of the time, I don't even pay attention to myself. I forget how old I really am. Thank God. Anyway, uh, back in the mid late 90s, I was performing stage hypnosis routine at a bar in Augusta, Georgia. Now, one of the skits that I did for my hypnosis show was one I called the dating game. Now, what I would do was, well, when I designed this skit and started doing it, the way I would do it was I have one girl, three guys. Obviously, they were all under hypnosis, and I would give them uh, different instructions. The girl, I would tell that she was come on to this dating game to select one of the three bachelors. Uh, then I would tell the three bachelors, three guys, they were the three bachelors. The young lady was going to select one of them. But this is where the fun part comes in. I know you're wondering. um, I told the guys that the young lady was a troll, was absolutely repulsive in every way, shape, or form. The fact that she walked on stage upright is a complete shock to these guys. It's how hideous she was, supposedly. Actually, um, I would usually get a fairly attractive young lady. Uh, anyway, told the girl that she would put up with whatever these guys said or whatever and just read the cards because it was all for she was an aspiring actress and this was her big break, so she wasn't going to take it personally and she was going to do her best to soldier on through. Then I woke them up and started the thing. Like I said, I would have a series of questions that I wrote up on cards, handed the young lady the cards, stand back, let them go. And the questions would be regular standard, what you would hear on the dating game that used to be on TV. Stuff like Bachelor number two, what is your best feature? Bachelor number three, I love to be serenade. Would you sing to me? Uh, Now, since the guys believe that this woman was so repulsive, they would come up with stuff like, when she would ask, like, what is your best feature? And they were like, well, I have a lot of back hair. or she'd say, uh, uh, would you sing to me? And she would start going, you're so ugly. You're so hideous. Please don't pick me. stuff like stuff like that. Uh, anyway, I usually, like I said, three guys, and I would usually have each guy answer three questions. Excuse me, two questions. Anyway, uh, then I would say, okay, we come to the end of the show. Bachelorette, which one of these gentlemen uh, have won the date with you tonight? Which one do you select? And no matter which one she picked, the guys were whichever one she picked. The guy was always like, "Oh God, no!" One time I saw the guy get up out of the. She said number three. I still remember the guy was. She had said number three, and the guy in number three picked up his chair and moved it over to spot number one, and it was like a gladiator version of that kids game with dancing around the chairs because when he moved his chair, the other guys started moving their chairs, so nobody was beat number three. So anyway, uh, this is I did it a couple times like this. It worked great. The audience loved it. Um, oh, excuse me. Forgot the grand finale. Uh, After she said, "Okay, I picked number whichever, I would have them meet, and he would be like, "Oh," because he, in his mind, I told him that she was hideous. So, even though we had a curtain I had made up that separated, when he came around the curtain, he didn't see this young, attractive lady. That usually, like I said, I don't think I ever had one that was really hideous. I one time, one of the ladies I picked was like a six, but nothing like the -5 that these guys believe they were meeting. Anyway, so the guy would come around the corner. It's like, oh no, no, I don't want to do this, please. Oh, dude, don't come. And the woman was just like, okay, okay, I'm supposed to be doing this. And that's when I knocked them both out, and I gave them part two. Then at this point, I tell the girl that she's had enough. She's put up with this guy's shenanigans long enough. She's done. She doesn't want anything to do with the guy. She doesn't want anything to do with any of the guys. So she's just going to, sorry, have a nice life. I'm leaving. And I tell the guy that he now realizes that she's not the troll that I've been, he believes so far. She's actually, on a scale of 1 to 10, she's a 35. This woman, I would tell him, this woman, Miss America and Miss Universe, wish they could be as beautiful as this woman is. Then I wake him back up. The guy takes one look. Yes, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Yes, let's look at who I'm getting a date with. Yes, yes, yes. I'm going to buy a lottery ticket because it's my luckiest day ever. Yes. And then the woman is like, no, I don't think so. She's like, no, I don't have no. I'm done. I know it's for charity, whatever, but I'm not doing this anymore. You know, you just have a nice life. I'm leaving. And the guy from there on would be down on his knees. No, I was just kidding. Please, please come back. No, 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 just give me another chance. I was just kidding. No, 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 just no, no, please, please. Okay, so that's the way it usually ran. Then came one night I was performing, and there was a slight. Well, I there was a bachelorette party, and I just didn't get as many guys volunteering as I usually did. I only had one guy in the whole group. I had like 5 or 6 people who volunteered to be hypnotized and to be in the show, but they're all women. There was, like I said, there was only one guy. So when I came to do the dating game, I'm sitting there going like, okay, fine, I'll just redo it with instead of the bachelorette picking the 3 bachelors, I'll have the bachelor picking 3 bachelorettes. I figure, no biggie. I'm open minded. I don't, equal rights and all that good stuff. You don't get ahead of me. I know I know you will probably see where it's going, but bear with me. So anyway, uh, put everybody out. Got to got everybody selected. Got one guy, fairly attractive young man, kind of buff. Probably did some kind of sports. I think remember he had good solid had good guns Yeah. Anyway, uh, three ladies were fairly attractive. There was one that was a little older to be considered a bachelorette, but she uh, she was still fairly attractive. Anyway, so did the first part, worked like it always did. Guy asked the questions. The girl, the older, the older lady was. I still remember when he came. He asked her about the serenade, and she made up this story. She made up this song about "I'm a little chicken." Anyway, it was hilarious. So we get through the questions. He picks picks his bachelorette. He didn't pick the older one. I believe he picked bachelorette number two, which is neither here nor there since you don't know. Anyway, so he picks bachelorette number two. She comes around, knock them both out. After she's like, "Oh God, what have I look? What have I got myself into? Oh my God, he's Quasimodo come back to life." And then, like I said, after I've got a good chuckle about that, I knock him out. Tell the guy that he is done. He's been a good enough sport so far, but he doesn't want anything to more do with these people. Young lady, she realizes that the guy is an Adonis. His um, Clint Eastwood, Chuck Norris. Show you where my taste in actors goes. Uh, Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, all rolled into one, and wake them back. Excuse me, wake them both back up. And here's where it goes south. Because just like it always did, the woman was like, "Ah, yes, it's an Adonis. Look at the girls. Look, eat your heart out. Look what I got." And he's like, "No, I've done. I'm done. I don't want to do this." And here's where you see the difference between guys and girls, because when he starts going, "No, I'm done. I don't want anything. I've had enough." Her reaction was not, "Oh, please, I was just kidding." It was, "Who the hell do you think you are? Who do you think you are?" And starts just giving all kind of attitude. I actually had to jump in between two of them because I thought she was going to take a swing at him. So when you talk about the difference between men and women, you know, practical application right there, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I hope you enjoyed the story. Like I said, um, I will be, the young lady's name is Roma. I will be posting her. Sorry for getting your name, Roma, if you ever see this. Like I said, I do love you. Uh, I'll be put a link to her site on the description down here. Thank you for bearing with me. If you like it, like I said, I'm going to try to make a regular go of this. Please subscribe, put a like, do all the normal stuff that you do for YouTube. Uh, you folks, thank you for listening to me. You have a blessed day. Take care.